All right, friends and family, we're about to get started. Do me a favor, go ahead and share this out on your network as we get ready for our Black History celebration, Black Roses. Go ahead, it's coming soon. Stay tuned while we challenge, control, create, cultivate, change the narrative.
For too long, there hasn't been a defined media platform that can adequately represent and address the needs of Black voices.
This is why at CTN Media, we offer a global platform for the people that centers the Black economic revolution and other important issues of our time. We aim to challenge the mainstream narrative and to call for a shift in both mindset and values of our community. This concept of change the narrative in media is evident in our leading shows like
7 Generations Black, a show composed of scholars and activists with a fresh perspective and generational lens on the relevant issues of today and the legacy of tomorrow.
The Resource Report, a 30-minute headbanger on available resources that rarely reach our community's ears, with categories like jobs, services, finance, youth, and more.
Release and Rediscover, a weekly experience fueled to heal the soul with real talk that takes the deep dives into the hidden mental and emotional valleys and steep peaks of what ails us and keeps us from living beyond surviving. This is a show to awaken the sleeping giants and hidden phenomenal in all of us.
When you advertise with us, not only will you promote your products and services to an engaged audience, you become an agent of change and align your brand with a platform dedicated to changing the narrative. Learn more about our rates and packages by contacting us at ctnmedia at bbiprofessional.com.
The Black Roses on CTN Media. We're so excited to have you here. Do me a favor, go ahead and share this out in your network. Let's create engagement. If you're not following us, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go on over to YouTube, subscribe to CTN Media, where we are challenging, creating, changing, cultivating. We're changing the narrative and we're doing it with you. Don't forget to ring the bell. Keep on supporting independent media, because without you, we can't make it. Ring the bell, because today is going to be fantastic. Today, we're going to dive into some Black legends. Yeah, that's right, legends. Living legends, legends paving the way, and even some of our ancestral legends. So it's going to be a great time. Welcome again to Black Roses. I'm your host, Shay, the interview guru. And of course, I can't do this on my own. No. So I have to have my partner. My partner is going to come to you today and help us as we go through the legends of our Blackness. It's Black excellence, y'all. Welcome the CVO of the Black Business Initiative, the economic guru, the one, the only, Jice Johnson. Hey, Jice.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Why we're here today and what we're going to be doing.
Oh, man. We're talking about Black legends. We're talking about Black excellence. And you all know what it is. That's like my favorite thing to talk about is people being Black and people being excellent. We're here to talk about how we give our roses out, not only to those legends and to acknowledge those that have paved the way before us, but most certainly to also talk about those that are still living and still breathing and are continuing to pave the way for us moving forward. So this is sure to be, an exciting conversation, and one that really digs into the past and the present, and starts to look at the future. So I'm very excited to be here and host this with you.
I'm excited too. And not only are we honoring legends, we have some people right now that are making their own, they're making a blueprint today. And so I feel like this panel that we are bringing to the table, they're legends in the making, and all in different areas. So let's go ahead and introduce who is going to help us bring our Black roses and our legends to the table. Let's start out with our newest member of BBI. What's up? This is our guy, Chris Cleveland. He's the newest member of BBI, helping us with programming and really touching the Black community by way of, Chris, tell me where you're from.
Hartford, Connecticut.
Hartford, Connecticut. So now we're expanding at BBI, and we're super excited to have you on board. Welcome, Chris Cleveland.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Up next, now I'm super excited to introduce this person because she's a commercial real estate and investor. She has her own company, T.D. Jones Property Group. If you want to learn more about her, just follow this businesswoman in action, who's also a new mother, one of my closest friends, the one and only Tia Jones.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Thank you for joining us and helping us give out these Black roses today. Jice, why don't you introduce our last but not least panelists?
Oh, man. So we have Senator James Coleman, who was born and raised in Park Hill neighborhood of Denver. We're so honored to have you here today. As you know, Senator Coleman was recently elected. He serves as the vice chair of the Senate State, the Veterans and Military Affairs Committee. And so, his education is extensive. The work that he's done in the community is extensive. He is one of our living legends, and we're very excited to have him join us in this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. And this is your Black Roses team. Now, I don't know if you shared this out on your network yet. I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead, share this out on your network as we get into this phenomenal conversation about who we will be honoring today with our Black legends. All right, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I think we should just get into it. Now, the cool thing when we talked about what legends look like, we know that there's so many different industries, there's so many different genres, there's so many different people that we can pay homage to. And so none of us know who we have picked for our legends. I think this is going to be a real fun and robust conversation to see why we picked who we picked, and the attributes they bring. We know typically when they study Black history, you hear about the same people over and over and over. And this was the chance finally to say, let's bring some different people to the table. Let's not have any biases, and let's not all even agree. And so I'm excited to get into this and see who you have picked and who you are bringing to the table. So we start off and who you're bringing to the table. Audience, do me a favor, hashtag CTN Media while we get this thing going. Share this out on your network. I don't know if you're tuning in from Facebook. I see people tuning in on Spotify. I see you on YouTube. Wherever you're tuning in from, share this out because this conversation is going to be great. And I want to know who's picking the best people. Who are you riding with? So when you see somebody pick the right one, go ahead and hashtag their initials. For Tia, you're going to put TJ in. For Jice, you're going to put JJ in. For Chris, you're going to put CC in. And for Rashod, for James Coleman, you're going to put JC in. And I'm your host, so you can just rock with me all the time and put CTN Media when you're rocking with me. So let's do this thing. Let's get into who we're bringing to the table, who we're honoring. So we're going to start off in some conversation of who we're bringing to the table in community. We know community is the pillar of everything we do. All of you are involved in community. Senator Coleman, we know without you, our community wouldn't even be advancing in the way that we are right now. So we're grateful to you in this space. And I want to see who we have for community. So let's see some of the community legends. All right, Tyrone Bynum, Champ Jones. All right, who brought Tyrone Bynum to the table?
I did.
All right. Let's see who else we have in community. Rob and Sheila Johnson, community legends. All right, who brought Rob and Sheila to the table?
That was me.
Okay, I see y'all. Let's see who else we have in community. The one and only Sean King. All right, community legend. I think I can guess who brought that to the table. Now, who brought that to the table?
That was me.
That's you guys. Crazy, I would have never known. All right, let me see who else. Now it's down to me or Senator Coleman. I don't know who it's going to be. Let's see who brought the next community legend to the table. Daddy Bruce on Randolph. Okay, all right. That might be me. I might have brought him to the table. Let's see which one of these panelists brought Daddy Bruce to the table. All right, it's James. It's James Coleman. All right. So let's see who I brought to the table. The one and only Brother Jeff.
We knew that.
Right, let's go. It's time
you have to fight me for that one. I have to pick Sean King because you picked Brother Jeff.
I feel like I'm gonna kick this thing off now. I feel like I did something very unique and special because I brought someone that we all know is a living legend right in this extraordinary moment. Brother Jeff is in our community in Denver, Colorado. When I thought of community, there were so many amazing people. But what I felt like is that the way this man has groomed people that I look up to, people that I stand next to, and myself, I couldn't even think about community without thinking about him. When I came back home, he is what reminded me of community and reminded me of my obligation to my community. So, Brother Jeff, I give you your flowers while you're here, and you're what community looks like. Now, I would love to know why y'all picked who you picked and what they mean to you.
Not everybody all at once. I'll go.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
All right.
Let me hear you, Tia.
Well, let's go with Tia. Yeah, Tia, you're the guest here.
Because you picked some of my favorite people, Sheila Johnson, Bob Johnson. I was just saying how Sheila, if those of you don't know, Sheila was the first Black woman billionaire, not millionaire, the first Black woman billionaire. Why did you pick them for your community legends?
Honestly, I was thinking about community and I was thinking about who really impacted us early on, or especially me, in the 90s and the 80s. And of course they had BET for 17 years and they built a community based on media. They gave us a place where we could see ourselves. They gave us a place where we could express ourselves. Early on, especially with BET, a lot of it was current affairs, public affairs, and then of course they did expose more of music videos and hip hop. And so I feel like they gave us a platform and they really gave us a place to express ourselves as a community. And so for me, that's why I picked them. And then, of course, like you said.
Okay, if you guys are rocking with Tia, you can put TJ in the comments. I feel you on that. I get it. Yeah. Jice, why did you bring who you brought to the table?
Sean King is I think someone who is always just down for the community. And, you know, one of the things that I think is interesting is he embodies some of the issues that we have within our community. You know, but he still gets out there and he still presents. You know, if there is anything happening, if there's police brutality going on, if there is, you know, something that is happening in the Black community, he is certainly to be tagged in the comments. And I think people know that he is there to bring attention to the injustices that are continuously happening in our community. And he continuously brings updates. So what I see happening is that he's always in the background following up on stories. And even after something has left the spotlight, you know, he is going back and saying what's happening in this space. How can we lend a hand in this space? And he's done so under immense controversy. He's done so even under the guise of, is he Black? And I think considering the history of this country, that's such a telling piece of, you know, who we are. And it's something that we don't talk about often. So yeah, I see him as someone who's very, you know, devoted to the community.
Okay, I'm rocking with that. And I love what you said is that he brings things after they're in the spotlight. He still brings them back to follow up on them. And that's one thing in the community. We've got to work on that follow up. So if you haven't followed up and shared this on your network, I don't know what you're waiting for. Share this out, do a follow up. All right, Representative Coleman, why did you bring Mr. Daddy Bruce, the legendary Daddy Bruce, to the table?
I brought Daddy Bruce because growing up here in Denver, Colorado, we learned about Dr. King, we learned about Malcolm X, we learned about Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, all these people. We never really talked about folks who were from Denver, from Colorado. And this man taught us compassion. He taught us how to make a meal and provide a meal for folks. And he then turned that into a business and then turned that into what we call Daddy Bruce Day here, where we provide food for thousands of people around Thanksgiving every single year. They don't have a meal, a full box full of, you know, whether it's cornbread, a turkey, some dressing, different things that we can provide for folks. And so every single year we continue to do that through the Epworth Foundation. And I'm just honored to be representative, a senator of the district where Daddy Bruce started that. And I grew up learning about him and hopefully hope to carry on his tradition in the work that I do.
Well, dang, that's how you win when you're carrying on the tradition. You're like the whole trademark for what he's done. Thanks. All right, Chris, why did you bring your community legend to the table?
I brought Tyrone Bynum, as you know, he's known as Champ Jones, because I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. I met Tyrone, or he moved from Oakland when we were in 5th grade. And, you know, we kind of adopted him as like one of our own. But what he's doing now in the community, if you know anything about Hartford, Connecticut, he is literally just keeping the history of Hartford alive. He's going around into the communities, just basically highlighting the underserved, underprivileged community and getting the stories out there. And not only that, but also bringing the history back. You know, we had, you know, a chapter of the Black Panthers in New Haven. He's bringing that back. He's just basically, you know, showing that although we are a small portion of Connecticut, you get there's something about Connecticut where people say Connecticut is just this rich
Something about Connecticut.
You know, it's just this rich state, but they don't know we have 3 of the poorest cities in the country. So, you know, when you are able to, you know, put people in that light, you know, that's why I give Tyrone his praise. You know, he has Chatting with Champ, you know, he's doing it on all different platforms. So, you know, I wanted to give him his roses, although he is, you know, my age and someone younger, but he's doing this thing for our community. And I really
love it. These are some community legends, y'all. Audience, I want y'all to tap in. Tell me who you're rocking with. These were all great legends. We're giving their roses while we're here. But if you're rocking with Chris, put CC in the comments. You're rocking with Jice, put JC in the comments. You're rocking with, you guys can't both be JC. You're JJ. Jice is JJ. I don't know her anymore. Jice, put JJ in the comments.
I was wondering where was I getting the C from? I was like, is there a C?
CTN. I just got you all mixed up. Don't mix it up like I did. You're rocking with Mr. Coleman, put JC. And if you're rocking with Tia, put TJ. That is for our community legends. Up next, we're going to give some roses in the entertainment industry. Now, we know that makeup entertainment has changed. The market of entertainment has changed. And some people have really made their mark on what we look at. We know there's a lot of stereotypes now, which is why we started CTN Media. So we could really try to challenge that narrative and put some new faces in front of you. But we have to give some people their roses while they're here, or maybe not here, and acknowledge the legacy that they left. So let's go right in and see who we have in entertainment. Dave Chappelle. Who brought him to the table?
That was me.
That's Chris. All right. Who else do we have? Cicely Tyson.
That's me.
That was mine. I forgot to put that.
That was me. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Who else do we have in entertainment? Viola Davis. Okay. Now, who brought her to the table?
That was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay, we see you, JJ. Who else do we have in entertainment? Hattie McDaniel. All right, I love it. I love it. These are getting good. That has to be Senator Coleman in the building. All right, and I don't know why mine keep coming last, but who is I? The one and only Clarence Avant, the Black Godfather. All right, I'm going to kick this off in a sense of I think we have some dope people in entertainment, and it's not your everyday people in entertainment. So I salute y'all for really digging into your Black stuff. Your Black card will not be revoked today. I had thought about it, but you guys are doing great. So when I think about Clarence Avant, for those of you who don't know, he has really been a waymaker for a lot of people in the industry. We call him the Black Godfather. And the real reason we call him that is because people came to Clarence when they didn't know how to get deals done. Whether it was people in the music world, whether it was people in the financial world, whether it was people in the television world, Clarence was that guy. He got the deals done. He crossed different genres. And what I love most is he is a man of my heart because he was like, y'all don't have to know what I do because I do it well and I'm getting paid and we're good. And so shout out to the Black Godfather for paving the way for so many of us in the industry. Now let me hear why you picked who you picked, Senator Coleman.
Thank you. I picked Hattie McDaniel because she was an American actress, songwriter, singer, comedian, but she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in Gone with the Wind. She became the first African American actor to win an Oscar. And I picked her because she graduated from East High School right here in Denver.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either.
Game. Okay,
I'm representing the home.
Right. Okay, I'm just gonna go with the guys now. Chris, why did you bring the legendary Dave Chappelle to the table?
I brought Dave Chappelle to the table, and I'm just gonna be super blunt. He doesn't take any SHIT. And that's really what it is right now. And I think for anybody in entertainment who respects themselves, who respects their image, who respects their brand, you have to give them their flowers. You have to give them their roses. What he did with Netflix, to me, just embodies what we are as Black people. You don't want to give me the credit for this, then I'm going to talk to my people. And that, to me, was super, super admired. I admired it because he said, you know what, I don't need to go to these executives. I'm going to go to the people who control the narrative, which are my fans. And when he did that, to me, it just shows, Dave's not crazy. He's never been crazy. They just tried to shush him. They tried to gag him, and he fought and he fought and he fought and he went against everything that was considered right. And he did his thing. So I applaud Dave Chappelle. I hope he continues to do what he's doing. And get the bag, Dave. Get the bag.
Tia, you brought somebody that we all pay homage to in her recent passing away. Everybody's TV grandma, TV mom. She's been there since we started out. Why'd you bring the legendary Cicely Tyson to the table?
Honestly, I actually had the honor of meeting her a couple years ago and just being in her presence, and knowing her history and how in the entertainment industry, she didn't settle, and she was very specific about the roles that she decided to take and the image that she portrayed on television and in films for us. It means the world to all of us, right? Because we want to see ourselves in a certain light. And I think she really allowed that to happen. And she was able to win, Emmy Awards, Tony Awards, and just become a legend, honestly. And that's why I picked her. I just have so much respect for just the way that she conducted herself as an actress and as a woman.
I agree. I think the one thing I love most is when they told her, like, why would you, she got so much hate mail. And people would say, why would you be that black skinned, dark haired girl? Go ahead, straighten out your hair. Why are you representing us like that? And she stayed authentic and she stayed true. Right. And it allowed people like me that didn't see a lot of dark skinned women fall in love again and say, yo, I can be on the TV screen too. So I salute her. Right. And it's funny that Jice would pick the person who plays her daughter in How to Get Away with Murder. So they played mother-daughter. And right. When Cicely Tyson passed away, they sat and had a conversation. 3 hours the day before. So you picked a dynamic duo. Why did you pick Viola Davis, Jice?
Oh man, I just feel like she is so powerful. Like every time I see her on the screen, she embodies so many roles, and I think she just does it so well. I'm captivated by her all the time. And I just love that she represents, a part of our community that that, to your point, doesn't get that type of, love, you know what I mean? And she does it so well. She is a dark-skinned, nappy-haired, beautiful Black woman who will rock her afro, rock her weave, rock her wig, and she does all of them with a lot of grace and a lot of beauty. And I just think that she's fabulous.
Ooh, a lot of grace, a lot of beauty. I see y'all bringing these beautiful Black people to the table, giving them their Black roses. I don't know about you, audience, but I want to know who you're rolling with. Oh, somebody over there saying, I'm rolling with you, Jice Johnson. All right, I see y'all. Who y'all rolling with? If you're rolling with Jice, go ahead and put JJ in the comments. You're rolling with Chris, I want you to see you put a CC in the comments. You're rolling with Senator Coleman, you can put a SC, you can put a JC, however you want to get down. And if you're rolling with TJ, who has some young ones in the background, I love it. Go ahead and put a TJ back there. That's real life. Welcome to For the Culture, CTN. Y'all, we're giving people their roses right now, our Black legends, and we're doing something a little bit different. We're not doing the people that you hear about every day. We have chosen some people that have inspired us all personally. We're going to keep going, but you share this out on your network. Help us create engagement. Go ahead, ring the bell, support independent Black media, and go ahead and drop this in somebody's DM. I want to know, too, tell us in the comments who you would have chosen if we didn't say somebody that you think we should have honored. So let's keep going. We're going to go to one of the best, I think, fields in here, political and activism, because we know how important that is right now, especially in 2020. It was reinvigorated. It was in a space where we realized that we're not done. We're still doing the work. And unfortunately, some of it looks really too familiar than what we've already seen before. But without some of these people paving the way and staying in the forefront of this, we wouldn't be able to be here today. So let's talk about who we brought to the table in our political and activist space. I'm going to go ahead and start out with, let's see the pictures. Ooh, Shirley Chisholm. Hey, who was that amazing person that would bring her to the table?
You.
Only someone like me would think of that. Thanks, that's me, that's me. All right, let's see who else we have at the table. Wellington Webb. Yes, salute Wellington Webb. Somebody is genius for this pick. Who brought? All right, Senator Coleman, we see you. He's going to get his flowers and he's going to get an extra check in a minute. You keep bringing these cool people to the table. All right, who else are we bringing to the table? Chauncey Billups, right here, homegrown. Who did that? Oh, that wasn't true?
No, that wasn't true.
Oh, it was a lie? I was like, okay, I didn't know he was a political activist. Stacey Abrams is, though. All right, I like that. Who brought Stacey Abrams to the table?
That was me.
That's TJ. All right, let's see who else we have in there. Fred Hampton, excellent picks. I pretty much know who brought that person to the table. Who brought Fred Hampton to the table?
Y'all know that. Y'all know who it is.
That's the Jice Johnson in here. She's authentic all the way through. And let's see who Mr. Chris Cleveland brought to the table.
Yes, sir.
CT State Rep Brandon McGee. I love that we're seeing some new faces, some people we don't know. We're being introduced to Black excellence, y'all. I want to hear why we picked who we picked. If you could start us off, Chris.
I chose, so we're going back to Connecticut, guys. I mean, we got to bring some East Coast flavor in here. I chose Brandon, and again, just growing up in Connecticut, looking at the political realm, you just never seen anyone that looked like you. And if you did see someone that looked like you, they were a lot older and from a different generation. And when Brandon, was voted into office, he did it the right way. He went back to the community. He not only was he involved with the community, but he did programs and was involved with programs from the grassroots level. So, seeing, he went to he went to a HBCU, which is, to us was super commendable because, from Connecticut, it's just like, you're going to Yale's, you're going to these other colleges. So just seeing that he came back home after doing that and he decided that he wanted to, go into politics, to us, it was just, and to the younger generation, I think that's just going to be super dope just to see a lot of the kids look up to someone who, just ran for mayor. He didn't win, unfortunately, but I think he's going to go back and do it again. So I want to give Brandon his roses as well, because to us, that means a lot.
Thank you for giving him his roses and putting us on game. Tia, why did you choose who you brought to the table?
I brought Stacey Abrams, and basically what she did this past year with voter registration and just keeping the tenacity and the determination and just not letting, the losses or no's get in the way, and really caring, I feel like, about the people and what really matters and giving people a voice. To me, that's super commendable. I wanted to definitely honor her and give her roses because I think her future is really bright. And I just think she has so much more to come. So
I know a lot of people are going to be rocking with you on that one. That's the one that had you still the audience. We get it. All right, Senator Coleman, why did we bring the legendary Wellington Webb to the table? I know why, but why did you choose him?
Wellington Webb was the first Black mayor of Denver. When I was in 7th grade, he walked into my classroom before Obama and showed me that it was possible to be in a position like that. There was 500,000 people living in the city and county of Denver, and he was the mayor, and I didn't know we could do stuff like that. And I wasn't the worst student in school, but I got kicked out of most of the schools I went to growing up. You couldn't tell now. It wasn't until I went to this school that taught Black history, had Black teachers and a Black principal, and Wellington Webb walked into the classroom, showed me that we could do that. I also want to give a shout out to the Honorable Wilma Webb, who was also a state representative as he was before he was mayor, because of her, we now have MLK Day commemorated as a holiday here in the state of Colorado. She actually lost positions, got kicked off of committees, trying to pass that bill to make MLK Day a holiday. So shout out to the Honorable Wilma Webb as well.
We love the Webb family, and thank you for still continually to give back to our communities. Jice Johnson, why did you bring your person to the table, Mr. Fred Hampton?
Just considering the movie that came out, I felt like it was also just timely because he is one of my favorite, activists and Panthers. Unfortunately, his life was ended too short. But also, when you can live for such a short time and make such a powerful impact that your words still resonate today and hit people so deeply, at such a young age, and so bold in his beliefs and his willingness to, risk his everything, in order to advance the Black community, in order to advance and, really promote the idea of Black liberation. And just considering like my own fight in this cause, he's someone who resonates very deeply with me. And so I was glad that they put out this video about, this movie about him, although there's some factual inaccuracies in there, as they often are with biops. But nevertheless, to start to highlight and bring much due recognition to the man that he was amazing. And I think no better time than now.
No better time than now. Give him his roses. Shirley Chisholm, for me, she ran for president in 1972 when Black women weren't even thinking about doing such a thing. If anybody hears me talk a lot, when I decided that CTN Media was a platform I wanted to build, one of my biggest conversation pieces was I wanted this to be unbought and unbossed. And that came from Shirley Chisholm. This is what she ran on. That was her slogan. If you know her, she was a beast. You couldn't sit her down. She would tell you, I'm Black, I'm woman, I'm both, and it doesn't matter because I'm just me. And she showed up and she did it authentically. And it really inspired me to be better and to be bold. So shout out to these amazing giants, new, present, past, and future in the political activist space. You guys are watching Black Roses right now. We're bringing some amazing Black legends to the table, and we're just getting started. So go ahead and share this out on your network. Let's create engagement. Super chat us up. Like it, love it. Write in your comments. I don't know who you're rolling with for the political activist space, but tell me if you're rolling with my guy, Chris Cleveland, it's a CC. If you're rolling with Jice Johnson, it's a JJ. If you're rolling with TJ, it's a T. Tia Jones is a TJ. And if you're rolling with Senator Coleman, it's an SC. Let me see you light it up in the comments. And those of you who are being so politically correct, saying I'm rolling with all of you, we love you too. I see y'all. So nice. All right, we're going to go to the next thing is an absolute in our community and something that we're all focusing on, education, what it looks like to really educate our community. I think this is one of the most important legends that we can ever talk about is education legends. So let's go ahead and see who we have brought to the table. Jamila by Granson. All right, I know who brought that to the table. That was Mr. Who? Chris Cleveland. All right, let's see what else we have. Mary McLeod Bethune. Okay. I kind of know who could have brought them, but who brought them something to the table?
I did.
What? I was going to be wrong about that. All right, TJ. Okay. That's a good one. Let's see who else we're bringing to the table. Dr. Joy DeGroy. I know who brought joy to the table, so okay. Who brought joy to the table?
That was me.
One and only Jice Johnson. All right, let's see who else is at the table. Anna Jo Hines. I love it. Who brought Miss Anna Jo Hines to the table? Senator Coleman, always with the kill. All right, and let's see, last but not least, who am I bringing to the table?
Nobody.
Oh, let's see, it was me. I feel like I did good on this one. Now y'all make me feel like maybe not. I know I brought somebody good to the table. While we're trying to figure out who I brought to the table, I want to talk about why we brought the people we brought. We know education is a pillar of what we stand on to really make sure our next generation is better. Let me hear why you brought who you did, Senator Coleman, to the table.
Education happens at all stages of life, but it begins in early childhood education. And I call Anna Jo Haynes, Mama Jo Haynes, the mother of early childhood education here in Colorado. She is still very much alive and living, and I wanted to give her roses. Because of her, we passed a ballot initiative this last year that is going to create universal preschool available for all students in the state of Colorado. So congratulations to you, Mama Jo Haynes, and I want to give you your roses.
Congratulations, Mama Jo. We love you. Your roses are here. Let me see. I think we have the picture of who I brought to the table as well. Rita Pearson. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you why I brought her to the table, since that was like a ta-da. So I brought her to the table because she gave one of the most powerful TED Talks on education. And I think sometimes we got to meet people where they're at. And a lot of people tune into TED Talks. And what I love most, it was every child needs a champion. And if you listen to it, she really becomes a model for educators. And educators, sometimes educators need educating as well. And so she did that. And she led workshops on the importance of educating our Black boys. And they get left out so many times in conversation pieces. So shout out to Rita for really paving the way in the new world and doing it through the nice TED Talk platform. All right, I would love to hear why you brought who you did to you.
Yeah, I brought Mary Bethune, and she started Bethune-Cookman University in Florida, which is an HBCU. And I thought that she was a great person to honor just because education is so important. And I actually have worked alongside people and known people that have started private schools, charter schools, and things that sort. And just to see a woman at the forefront of this early on, and, you know, obviously creating this great university, I just thought she should definitely receive her roses.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Chris Cleveland, why did you bring who you did to the table?
I brought Miss By Granson to the table, and I don't even know where to start. What I will say is that, similar to what Senator Coleman said, I didn't have my first Black teacher until I was in 6th grade. Shout out to Mr. Tucker. Going all the way through, you know, that was the hardest part for me, is we never had a Black principal. So it wasn't until I decided to go into the education field and work in education and work with the youngsters, we got our first Black principal, and it was Miss By Granson. She was from New York, and she came in with just this attitude where we're not calling these students. They're going to be scholars from here on out. When she used that word, it was so powerful to me, and I understood, because I can literally sit in the office with her and we can kick back, we can talk about old school rap, we can do all of these things, and I really, really wanted to enforce the fact, like, to the students that, hey, or to the scholars, and say, hey, look, we have one of us here. You know, you have to appreciate that. She also is the founding principal for the Neighborhood House Charter School in Dorchester, Massachusetts, and she's just done so much for me in my career, and opened up so many doors. So I really wanted to give her roses and just let her know, like, you meant a lot to a lot of people, and you're still doing it. So that's why she gets her roses from me.
Excellent. I love these Black roses are flowing. Jice, why did you decide to give your Black roses to who you did?
So I think Joy DeGroy is such a amazing scholar. Of course, she's an author and an academic, and she's also a clinical psychologist. And, you know, her work has been very imperative to, I think, the work that it touches me. It's to the work that I do, right? Because when you are someone dealing with the Black community, let me rephrase that, because I don't deal with us. I love us. when you are someone who loves the Black community, it's hard sometimes. And that's just the reality, right? And it's hard because there are so many traumas that our community has been, put through, that when you are, attempting to heal us, like the healing process is just difficult. And I think sometimes it helps to understand where we've come from, or why at times that we may behave in the way that we behave. And it allows a lot of the way that I'm able to have the grace that I need for myself, as well as for all of us as a community and all of us as a people, is really rooted in a lot of the work that she's done, really breaking down and understanding post-traumatic slave syndrome and how that affects us today. And I think that, she's an amazing lecturer, and I love listening to the way that she breaks things down. Makes it very easy for me to digest and turn around and continue to love on our community.
I love it. Well, we're loving on our community. We're loving all the viewers that are tapping in. Go ahead and share this out on your network for us. And then tell me who you're rocking with. Who is bringing the best educators to the table? Who just did that? If you're rolling with Chris Cleveland, go ahead and put a CC. If you're rolling with Senator Coleman, put an SC. If you're wrong with Tia Jones, put a TJ. And if you're wrong with Jice, put Jice Johnson, put a JJ. And if you're wrong with me, just go ahead and hashtag CTN Media, because I might be just doing it for the culture. You might just be rocking with me, and that's completely fine. I'd love to see these legends that we're honoring. I would love to hear, what do you guys, when you think of a legend, Senator Coleman, what makes a legend? What do you even think about when we think of legendary?
When I think of a legend, I think of somebody who consistently exudes greatness over a period of time. I mean, it's not like I won one championship. Greatness is, I continue to win championships. I put a team around me. I create a culture, a standard, and it doesn't have to be after you're gone. Like you see, there's people on here who are living legacies as well. And so they're living legends. And so I think it's somebody who just consistently exudes greatness.
I love that. Tia, when you think of a legend, what comes to your mind? How do you identify what legends are?
I would say I agree with Senator. It's definitely someone that's consistent. But I think it's someone where what you're doing has a lasting impact, right? On your community, on, the sport, on entertainment, on the world. So I think it has a lasting impact over time.
I love that. And Chris, when you think of legend, I know you and I have got to have some conversation. I love we start talking about the people in our hometown, and that was one of the things right away. You were like, I love honoring people, and I want to show some people that people may not know. How do you start to construct what legends look like, even when they may be younger than you?
I think that just starts, where you're, whatever industry you're in. When you make a change where you are first, and then other people start to look at it, and then it makes a difference everywhere else, I think that's super important. And I think age is, it's restrictive in some places, but I don't think it's for your legacy, it's restrictive. So, I see just so many young people that I literally get inspired by every single day. And I think what's great about being an entrepreneur, what's great about just being Black is that, we get to continue to, tell the next generation, like, you can do this, you can do that. And at that point, you're never going to stop that. It's similar to what Tupac said. I may not be the brain, but I'm going to spark the brain or the mind that's going to make a difference. And I love seeing it every single day. So that legends are born every single day.
Yes, they are. Jice Johnson, I love that you have not, you've been unwavering and being authentic about uplifting Black people through your whole career. So this is nothing new for you. You uplift Black people. We have the Black Business Initiative. It's all about the Black people, the culture, the community. How do you start to really sift through all this and say, these are legends in the making. This is what makes a legend. How do you define that?
Well, for starters, it's hard to just pick one, right? And I know that we're like, obviously we have to do that for the show, but it was, I think that there's something about boldness. In the Black community specifically, when we're thinking about Black legends, I think there's something about risk, right? Because we gravitate towards playing it safe. We gravitate towards protecting ourselves and, making the best moves that are in our best interest to advance our careers individually, right? And I think even in times when people may not have known that they were going to have the impact that they were going to have, right? Part of what makes a legend is that it did impact further than themselves, and that they put themselves at risk in order to stand by what they believe in, or in order to stand by, advancing the culture and advancing our people. And I think that really is something that resonates deeply with me when I think about legends.
I love this community. We want to hear from you. Go ahead and write in the comments. How do you define a legend? While you're doing that, share this out on the network. We're CTN Media, where we're challenging, controlling, creating, cultivating. We're changing the narrative. Make sure you go over to YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell, support independent media. This is how we keep making a change in our own communities. And as we're talking about making a change in our own communities, we couldn't go without honoring someone right here in our very own community in Denver, Colorado, a legend on her way to making her own very own impact. Let's look at our rising star legend.
I'm Amanda Gordon, and I am honored to be receiving these Black Roses. It is beyond my wildest dreams that I'm able to sit here in front of you and accept this award. What I do day in and day out is for you. It's for my community. It's for the little boys and girls out there who think that they don't have a way, that they don't have a chance. I'm here to tell you that you do. As long as you work hard, you never give up, and you know that there's someone up above keeping eyes on you. I'm Amanda Gordon. Thank you so much for this honor, and I look forward to seeing all of you soon.
I could not go without honoring a living legend. And I'm excited about this woman because she's doing it right here in my own city. When we talk about a legend in the making, from humble beginnings in retail, she's breaking barriers. She's climbed her way all the way to the top, becoming the first Black woman in the state of Colorado to own her own car dealership. And this is a top-rated, dynamic car dealership, independently owned right here in Denver, Colorado. The founder, CEO of GoJo Auto, the one, the only, Miss Amanda Gordon. Hey, sis, how are you?
Hey, Shay J, thank you for that intro. Can you do all my intros? That was inspiring. Thank you so much for having me.
We were sitting down thinking about, like, who do we honor? We want to honor two people. I thought it was extremely important to honor two people that are really, we're watching them build their legacy. And there was no way I could say, let me honor two people without you being one of the two. Amanda, when I watch you, I'm encouraged, I'm empowered. So thank you for all that you're doing. You keep challenging, controlling, creating, cultivating, and literally changing the narrative. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Well, thank you. Thank you, especially to you and Jice, who are just carrying the message and carrying the torch. So thank you for all you two are doing also.
Absolutely. When you think about, so you're becoming this legend, you're doing these phenomenal things. Now, what legend has inspired you to be the woman that we see today? Because we know it's humble beginnings to hear. Who inspired you to get to this space?
I mean, it's got to be my mother, right? Like my mother holds a very high position within the government, that she's one of few minorities to do such. And I've just seen throughout her career, her face a lot of adversities, but never give up and never stop and say, oh, I can't do this because I'm a woman or because I'm a minority. She just hopped over that hurdle, put her big girl panties on, as we like to say, and succeeded and kept moving. And so although I don't come from an entrepreneurial background, I do come from a lineage of people who fought to be the best that they could be, no matter what was thrown at them. And particularly my mother is my main inspiration.
I love that. Amanda, you are not just an entrepreneur, a thriving entrepreneur, but you're a mother. How do you find balance for all this? You're a mother, you work out 24/7, you're a friend, you come to community events. How do you find this balance?
Someone asked me that the other day, and I kind of looked at him like, dang, I do a lot, huh?
Yeah.
I really believe that people make time for what they're passionate about. I don't have an option. One of the best things someone can say to me is that you're a great mom. So of course my kiddo comes first. My business is important to me, not just for revenue purposes, but for my team, my staff. I've got 8 other mouths to feed, and I want them to be extremely wildly successful. So that wakes me up extra early. I do start my day early. I start at 4:11 and I go to bed by about 10:30. So I don't get much sleep. But that's okay. I'll sleep when my journey's done. So I just make time for the things that are important to me. And I make time for those who make time for me.
I love that. When there's so many up and coming rising stars, and they're looking at you. They said they didn't even know women could own car dealerships. They knew none of these things. What is a word of advice you can give to those that are starting out and trying to figure out their purpose in their space?
Don't let anything stop you. You've got Brianna Daniels, who's the first NASCAR pit stop Black female. You've got a woman in Atlanta who owns a NASCAR team with her 2 sons. You've got all these barriers that are being broken. I particularly know my industry, but I mean, you can look across the gamut. You've got the new Starbucks CFO as a Black woman. You've got Ursula Burns, who was the first Black woman of a Fortune 500 company at Xerox. And the common theme is it doesn't matter what color or gender we are. When you want to be successful at something, you will knock down every barrier in your way to get there, and it's possible. Particularly in today's times, our ancestors paved a way. I stand on the shoulders of giants that have paved a way for me to be able to have these opportunities. So I don't want to stop until I've pulled up enough women, enough people after me to replace myself.
You're phenomenal. Amanda, we're watching you build this legacy. I'm proud of you. Tell me, what do you want your legacy to be?
Really community. I want to give back as much as I take. It's important to me that we make a difference in not just the car buying experience, but financial literacy within our communities. There's a lot of disparities with financial literacy when it comes to purchasing cars, homes, credit. So we teach a lot of that, and we have a lot of partnerships. So really looking at making a change in these major obstacles that minorities face, one major being financial literacy. So making a difference while making a legacy within my community is something that's very important to me.
You're forging the way. I want you to just finish these sentences for me. I can
do all things through.
I will.
Saves me. I will be successful.
I must
create a generation after me that can do the things that I can do and better.
World, Amanda Gordon of GoJo Auto. She is literally, we're watching her build her legacy. Thank you. We're proud of you and salute.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Shay J.
Yes. All right, y'all. Again, give some love to Amanda Gordon of GoJo Auto, our living legend right now, paving the way. Again, we give you your Black Roses, Amanda. Salute for all you're doing right here in the community and how you're really educating. We are proud of you, and we're proud to be amongst your network. So again, we salute you for challenging, controlling, creating, cultivating, and you know what it is, changing the narrative. Those of you in the audience, I hope you're sharing this out on your network. Go ahead and hashtag AG for Amanda Gordon, and then go check her out at her car dealership, GoJo Auto, right here in Denver, Colorado. I'll get your new whip and go ahead and support our Black sister doing her thing. Again, you're tuned into Black Roses, where we are giving our Black legends their flowers, their roses, because it's so important that we celebrate our very own. Now, we celebrate Black History Month 365 days, but we are letting you tune into it with us today as we celebrate for just 1 hour some living and some deceased legends. Jice Johnson, how important is it that we have these conversations and start having these roundtables where we can have these discussions, which leads us to what we have going on with really building out a roundtable on a network where these conversations can take place?
I think Amanda hit on something so important, right? If you really put your mind to something, you can achieve it. And I think we've seen that ability to be resilient show up so often in our communities for as long as we've been on this soil. And so, that being said, I think these conversations are important because as you are building, towards whatever layer and level of success it is that you are seeing, we know that there are certain things that emerge, right? It's who you're surrounding yourself with, where you are gaining access to, how your networks are growing. What is happening with your, ability to develop yourself as a leader and as an expert in your field and as an expert in your craft. And so I think those conversations, success is it's a science, right? We know that there are things that make people successful. And so, so I think that it's incredibly important to not only acknowledge those that have come before us, but also to think about the things that they've done in order for them to get there.
Yeah, I think you're really alluding to something that we talk about a lot in our private space, and we talk about, and I know Senator Coleman can attest to this, building a community is hard. Building a business is hard, but building a Black business takes community, and takes business, and it takes network, it takes all these things, so it makes it that much more harder. I think that's one of the reasons that we're birthing something so important, which we have to tell them about the CEO Roundtable and what that really looks like to be a part of building and having the right people at the table.
Absolutely. We want you to get signed up. And I want people who are thinking about what their next best level is, right? And we talk about what it looks like, CEOs, what does it look like to be a top level professional? What does it look like to be at the top of your game? And those that are at the top of their game, those that are seeking to be at the top of their game, we've got to be in community with each other.
We absolutely do. We have to be in community with each other. And then we have to have a network that we can call on and say, yo, are you the only person that went through this? Are you the only person experiencing this? What is helping you build your systems? What's helping you get to the next level? What's helping you get to the next space? Tia, I know you've always been a big person about surrounding yourself by the right people. How important is it to be in a network full of people that can influence your next level?
Honestly, you guys, or even like Amanda said, there are more Black women CEOs and Black men CEOs, and more of us that are owning our own businesses and things like that. And I think sometimes it gets lonely, right? And we feel like we're the only one there, and like the people that we're working with don't really understand our struggle. So I think it's super important to have a community that you can tap into and just be 100% honest and real, and have that dialogue about what you may be going through, and then just to bounce ideas off to make your business, obviously better. But that support really means a lot when you're walking into a room or rooms with people that don't look like you. So I've always personally, kept a lot of people around me, even just you and Jice, like just having you guys in my corner has been great. And, such a support as well. You know what I mean? And that's super important when you're an entrepreneur or you're operating at a high level. And just in life in general.
Absolutely. Senator Coleman, from a political stance too, with you getting in office, but coming from a grassroots space, what do you say about having the right people in your circle around you and building out that network? What does that look like, and what does that take?
Well, what I think is it's very important that you have a strong support system in anything you do, but especially in politics. I think about President Obama and the First Lady, Michelle Obama, and their daughters. I think about all the scrutiny and all the hardship they went through as the first Black president and First Lady of the United States of America, the first Black family. And I think that without support, without people who can hold you down, keep you strong, hold you accountable, share some wisdom with you, it's impossible to be successful. And I think you have to make sure you remember who brought you to the dance. And a lot of times we get in positions of leadership and we forget who we are, who helped us get here. So I think what's really important is that you keep those folks really, really close to you, because in the beginning, those are the folks who believe in you, anointed you to do the work, to run for office. And so I'll never forget those folks. And they are still very much a part of my team and the work that I do today. But, it's amazing. We get all these awards for the things that we do. And I know the truth. The truth is there are people in the community like you all doing the work you're doing. There are people praying for me. There are people who are working from a business perspective and in so many capacities that make it possible to accomplish the things we do politically. So thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Chris, being the newest member of BBI-CTN, how important is it to have the right table, the right people around you, and being at the right table?
I think it's super important. I think just to harp on what everyone seemed to harp on, it's a network, you know what I mean? And I think with us as a Black community, where we lack sometimes is the better than me mentality. Well, this person's doing better than me, so I guess they don't need my help. When in all actuality, we all need each other. And when we understand that coming together and building that team, we move forward a lot farther forward. It's super important. I can't talk to the amount of people that have been a part of my life, that are still a part of my life, who are, come from multiple, different backgrounds, but, the support is necessary. And I say it all the time, teamwork makes the dream work. So
yes.
It's super.
I love that. If y'all want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The CEO Roundtable. Take your seat at the table. Go ahead, sign up, gain access. You can go to bbiprofessional.com. We can't wait to see you at the table. You're tuned into Black Roses as we're giving our Black legends their roses. They may be still here, they may be deceased, but either way, we are honoring them today on CTN Media. So we're going to get back into some honorees who we're honoring right here at Black Roses. So let's go ahead to our next category. We're going to start out in something that I know all of you in the audience, this is going to be a controversial subject, sports. Let's do it, sports. Who are these sports legends? Who are we honoring? I'm not trying to fight with y'all today, so let me just go ahead and see it. Put them out there. Woo, the GOAT, Kobe Bryant. I see you. That might be Oakland's finest who said that. Who is honoring Kobe? Oh, no. Okay. Chris Reeve. Okay, we see you, CC. Who else do we have in sports? Serena Williams. I love it. Who is honoring the greatest Serena Williams? That's me too. It's two. So it doesn't matter who they pick to win. Who else are we honoring in sports? The one and only Mr. Muhammad Ali. Cassius Clay. I love it. Who is honoring Muhammad Ali?
That would be me.
That would be the one and only Jice Johnson. I didn't expect that one from you. Okay. Yeah, that threw me off a little bit. I don't know. I didn't expect it. Who else do we have in sports? The GOAT right here from the hometown, the one and only Chauncey Billups. We've got to honor him. So I'm so glad we have him at the table. That must be you, Senator Coleman. Let's start out with Senator Coleman. Let's start out with why you chose Kobe Bryant, because a lot of people don't even know the impact he's had right here in the hometown.
Chauncey. I chose Chauncey, but yes, same thing. I know what you mean. It's all good. I chose Chauncey Billups because he's the king of Park Hill. My brother graduated the same year he did from GW. Everybody wanted to be like that cat, but more importantly, that dude showed us what we could do on and off the court. He's also somebody that went to college and played for CU here in Colorado, and then he went to the league, but then he had a lot of hardship. He persevered, went to a gang of teams, and finally landed in Detroit and won a championship and brought that back home here to Denver. So super proud of him and the work that he's doing, but he continues to do youth programs, be an advocate, and he's always on television. So it's just cool to have his number, be able to call him up, and grateful for the work that he's doing and he's already done.
Yes, we give you your Black Roses, Chauncey and Piper. We give you your roses. You're phenomenal. We appreciate you. All right, Mr. Cleveland, why did you pick? I mean, there's no why, but Kobe Bryant. Just give us your little piece of why Kobe Bryant.
I can't get into it without getting emotional, but at the end of the day, I think we all feel the same way. Maybe there are some difference of opinions, but at the end of the day, he came into the league at 17 years old. He brought us the Mamba mentality. It's just so many different things. My appreciation for him was just, the importance of being a girl dad. I have a 3-year-old girl, and the way that he put on for female sports, the way that he put on, after his career, just for the understanding that, it doesn't matter, what gender you are, you know what I mean? Like you have to support it. And, he ended up getting an Academy Award, for Deer basketball, which was huge. And you're just talking about someone who dedicated their life to one thing, and then after their career, literally dedicated their lives and switched over to something that would, show young Black kids that, look, you can be a part of this too. You can be a part of novels. You can be a part of, docuseries. You can do all of these things. So, it's a huge shout out to Kobe. It was devastating to, I saw people cry around the world like he was their best friend. And it's because of the impact that he left on our lives. So I don't want to go too much further because then I'm going to cry on here, but no.
We give you your roses, Kobe. And again, we send our condolences to his family. Definitely an impact that we will never forget. Jice Johnson, why did you pick the legendary Muhammad Ali? And by the way, those you don't know, Brother Jeff and Muhammad Ali kicked it right here in Denver, Colorado. So I love Muhammad Ali. Why did you go ahead and pick him?
Man, sports was so hard for me to pick one because I think this was the one, one of the arenas that we were allowed to thrive in. And it was so revolutionary, to consistently outperform in the world, in everywhere that we've ever been, right? And it's like when Black people are in a sport, we dominate. So it was so difficult to pick one, but I settled on the GOAT, right? One of the GOATs, just because he's one of my favorite icons. Like, one of the things, when you think about whose name resonates around the world, he's one of those things, right? He is a champion. He's a champion of champions. I always hear the chants from Africa. Think about what that would feel like to get up on an international platform, get on an international stage, and have the whole arena, chanting for you, right? It's just phenomenal. And so, also his activism, his ability to not only, move his feet, but also outwit many of white reporters, is, something that, I love. So he's one of my favorites.
I love it. Now, Tia, I think your choice was just absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how you have such an amazing mind. Why did you pick someone like Serena?
Well, obviously she's, I would say, probably the best female, athlete out there. She's won 23 Grand Slams. But aside from that, the reason I picked her is, I recently became a mother. I have an 8-month-old, and just to watch her, one, just be great, period. And then to have a child and continue to persevere, and then to go on and to win a Grand Slam after that when people doubted her. I just love that, just that tenacity that she has. And so that's why I picked her. And then the other reason is, even when things weren't going her way, I think she just handled it with grace. And I think she really is able to pass the torch on to the younger generation, allow them to have a space. So I just respect her for that.
I think that's genius. I mirror everything you said about Serena. And I think she just really changed the way we looked at women in sports, and really encouraged a lot of women to even be a part of sports. So I don't know who y'all rolling with in the audience. These were some great sports legends, but go ahead and show us who you're rocking with. Senator Coleman with the SC, Tia Jones with the TJ, or Shay J, because we're both on the same wavelength. Jice Johnson with the JJ, and Chris with the CC. We're giving them their roses while they're here. And now we're going to tap into some family legends, because we know family is a pillar of the Black community, how much we care about family and building out 7 Generations Black. Speaking of 7 Generations Black, make sure you catch it right here on CTN Media. It airs on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, where we talk about how do you look at families from a 7-generational lens, how do you look at issues from a 7-generational lens, and how do we make sure we set up our future to be better than we are. We're going to jump right in there and see who we're honoring and giving their Black roses in family. Let me see who we have. Coretta Scott King. Hey, who's that from? All right, Chris Cleveland. Let's see who else we have in the family. The Obama family. Well, that had to come out. I mean, this would be Black roses without the Obama family. Who did that? All right, TJ, we see you. Who else do we have in the family legends? The Wayans family. I like that one. Okay. That's a little, that was a good one. Was that me? Who thought that?
That was me.
Oh, that was Jice. She's sometimes in my head. That was good, Jice. That was real good. All right, let's see who else we have in the family legends. Mr. James Coleman. I have an idea who could have chose that, but I'm not quite sure. All right, who chose Mr. James Coleman? That has to be his son. You're a smart son. You're a very smart son. And let's see who I chose for our family legend. The Smith family. All right, y'all, let's talk about it. Why did we choose who we chose for these family legends? I'm going to start with you, Senator Coleman. I think it's such a beautiful thing to be able to honor our own. Why did you choose your father?
When I was growing up, all the football and basketball players would get a shout out to their moms, and you would never hear anything about their dads. My dad and I met when I was 11 years old, and I just want to give him some roses while he's still alive. He's 84 years old, had me when he was 50, taught me how to be a good father, a good husband. But most importantly, taught me how to be a good man of faith. And so that is really important, that I just want to shout out all mothers, all fathers, but especially Black dads who are working and making it happen. And now I'm proud to, as you saw in the picture, I have 2 children of my own, his grandchildren, and I'm hoping I'm making them proud as a good father.
Man, that's beautiful. Black fathers matter, and we salute you right here on CTN. We just salute all the Black fathers. In case you don't get your roses, we're going to give them to you. Thank you for being just as relevant in our families. I want to know why you chose who you did, Jice.
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, the Wayans family are just, first of all, that mama popped out 10 kids. Okay, so let's just, as a mom of 3, let me just say, but they're all writers, they're all actors, they're, most of them are comedians. I mean, they're just a dynamic family. They are, they put each other on. They got a family business running, and I just feel like you've got to love it. They brought us so many of the hits. So they are one of my favorite Black families. And I just love to see them. Even the ones that we don't see are all in the background, all in the industry, all in the business.
I love that. They are. That's how you put your family on, y'all. Put your family on. Chris, why did you choose who you did for the Family Legend?
I want to start off by saying the reason why I didn't put the Kings is because I think it doesn't start if Coretta did not keep Martin Luther King's dream alive. And the reason why I put Coretta on there, because she is a Black queen in my eyes. And not only did she keep Martin Luther King's legacy alive, she made sure that her children kept it alive as well. And when you instill those morals, those characteristics into your children, it's super, super important. So I just wanted to make sure that she was acknowledged, and that we do understand the importance of a Black mom. You know what I mean? Because as much as Black dads matter, Black moms matter, and you guys literally do it all day, every day. So
smart man, Chris.
Shout out to my mom as well. So she's on here CCing it up on the chat.
I love it, y'all. Keep going, showing this love. I love it. It's so important that we acknowledge behind every good man is a great woman, FYI, most of the time. So let's keep going. Tia Jones, why did you pick the legendary Obama family?
Well, honestly, growing up in like 2 separate households, I think it was really hard to find, a married Black couple within the community. And to see them on a national stage as a family, like politics aside, literally the most popular family probably in the world, was just, it just meant a lot to me, and then they did it with so much grace and so much class, and they put education at the forefront, Michelle being, I think, the most educated first lady in history, Yes. They both attended Harvard. Their kids, had to grow up in the White House, and they were excellent examples, you know what I mean? And I think it's just the world needed to see that. And I don't want, we just had the last 4 years of what we had. So I just wanted to make sure we gave them their roses, while they were here. And so that's why I picked the Obamas.
That is great. I love you said putting political things on the side. I think that was one of the most phenomenal families we could witness. For me, I picked the Smiths because there may not be the cookie cutter family that we want to see, but they make family work for them. And I'm such a big proponent about figuring out what works for you. And they figured out what works for them, and they're able to be transparent in that space. They're able to build generationally in that space. They have the grandma on, they have the kids on, and then they have a blended family. And I just love those aspects, because family turns into things we may not know it's going to be. It may not be how we originally set out for it to be, but the way they embrace family and they embrace unity and they embrace adversity, I say hats off to the Smiths and what they're doing and the legacy that they will leave, and letting their kids be authentic in their own truths. I think there's something beautiful about that. As we're giving people their roses while we're here, y'all. You're tuning into Black Roses right here on CTM Media. I hope you're sharing this out with somebody in your network. It's important that we keep giving people their roses while they're here, and also acknowledging the people that have paved the way. Go ahead and tell us who you're rocking with for the Family Legend. If you're rocking with my girl Jice, put a JJ in the comments. If you're rocking with my girl Tia, put a TJ in the comments. If you're rocking with Senator Coleman, go ahead and put an SC in the comments. And if you're rocking with the newest member to the team, Chris Cleveland, go ahead and put a CC in the comments, y'all. We're giving them the roses, and we're going to go into something that I think is super important. It's that business financial. The Black community for us at BBI, we're talking about Black wealth, Black legacy, and really leading an economic revolution. So we wouldn't be able to do Black Roses without talking about who has influenced us financially, business mind, sound mind. Let's see who we have. Madam C.J. Walker. That was me. Keep going. Magic Johnson.
And that was me.
Okay, I see us. Robert F. Smith.
That's me.
Bernard Garrett.
That was me.
Okay, I see y'all. And Maggie, nope. That was a lie. That was a definite lie. Denise Burgess coming through Colorado. Okay. Let's talk about these financial business legends. Jice, I would love you to kick off the conversation. I think this is right in your wheelhouse with the economic guru.
Oh man. So this was another hard one for me because I be in there like there's so many, but I just feel like Magic Johnson is someone that we don't really spend enough time talking about for a man who, has had his hands in so many things. Of course, we know him as, from basketball. I don't even think he gets his credits for basketball as many, championships as he's won and all the things that he's done in that space. But I would just say he's had his hand in so many business ventures, tech, movies, real estate, sports teams, and so on and so forth. And he's constantly making business and financial moves. And I think that he's certainly someone to know about in that space.
I love that. Senator Coleman, why did you pick Denise Burgess right here in our own backyard?
Man, I had so many folks I wanted to go through. So let me just give a real quick shout out to Denise Burgess, because Denise has done over $2 billion worth of business through leads here in the state of Colorado in her construction company. She's one of the most prominent business owners, period, but especially Black women leading the business in the state of Colorado and across the country. But we have so many great folks to choose from. Second, really quickly, Wanda James. Number one, top, maybe only, started cannabis industry here in the state of Colorado and across the country. So shout out to our Black women business owners.
Yes, women doing their things. Chris Cleveland, why did you pick who you did?
So Bernard Garrett, I mean, let's just start off by just saying, I watched The Banker and it was just something that I never knew. I think when you start to do, research on people, it's just like, hold on, this is in the 50s. This guy bought up 177 buildings, in the 50s and 60s. Like there's no, there was at that time, it was, he was using white faces to purchase these things. And it was a Black man behind the scenes pulling the strings. Like, it's amazing. It's sad that because of racial inequality, he had to move to another country in order to flee, prison, and he actually went to prison. So just these are things that, and similar to Senator Coleman, like I had a bunch of people, but this is just something that I think we should do our history. We should, know our history, do our research. But Bernard Garrett, if you don't know him, look him up. If you've never seen the movie The Banker, you should watch it. I learned so much. So, and shout out to Master P too, because he was a close second.
I like that. Make you say,
I was literally using him, and I was just like, oh man. But I wanted people to understand or to know Bernard Garrett's story. But Master P is, he was definitely a close second. And shout out to everything that he's doing in the industry.
Yes, that's a no limit soldier.
Soldier.
Tia, why did you pick the great Robert Smith, right from Colorado as well?
Yes. I picked him. He's a Denver native. I think people probably know him best, especially from 2019 when he paid for all of the scholarships for Morehouse college graduates. But he basically was a chemical engineer, investor, philanthropist. He is one of the wealthiest people in the world, and he's went to East High School right here in Denver, Colorado. And he owns Vista Equity Partners, which is a private equity firm. So I just wanted to give him his roses while he is here and just make sure that people knew that he is a Denver native, Robert Smith. And if you don't know, then you should check him out.
You should absolutely check him out. While you're checking him out, check out how Madam C.J. Walker was also making some millions right here in Colorado, because there's something special about being in Colorado. So check her out. I picked her because, of course, she was a self-made millionaire, and I think there's nothing more beautiful than that. From activism to philanthropy, she was everywhere, and I salute her in her walk. And while we're saluting people in their walk, I think it's important that we give people their Black roses. And there's some people building self-made, and this is our next recipient and honoree.
I really want to thank you guys for this award. It's honestly mind-blowing. I would never think that my name and legend would happen so quickly. So I really thank you all for that. What I want to inspire one to do is be an inspiration to someone else. Know what your gifts are. And when you find out what those gifts are, embrace them, share them. God gives us multiple gifts, and it's our job to utilize all of them in the best ways possible to share them back to the world. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your desires. Go for what you really love and love hard. With with your job, with your family, with your kids, with your friends. Just embrace that emotion that we all innately have and share that back out with everyone else. You can do anything. And this is a testament. It was a hard road, but you make it happen. And once you make it happen, celebrate yourself. And I'm gonna go celebrate myself with this award. Thank you again.
Doing it right now in Atlanta.
And
So thank you for all that you're doing, all you're contributing to the world right now.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure. It's like, we got this. Like,
So retired, you can't stop. You can't stop at all. Now, Rashod, what legend has inspired you to become the man that we see today? We know it hasn't always been this way, but the man I'm seeing has definitely put in some work. And what legend has inspired that?
You know, there were two people. The first one, when we decided to start the magazine, one of the biggest things we were told to do was to read a book by John H. Johnson, who was the publisher and creator of Ebony and Jet. Reading that book, it was amazing how you find that this person created the atmosphere of Black media. So before that, there wasn't really anything that glorified Black people. And understanding like what he did, going from, creating just a newsletter that he was giving out, and then going from that to ending up in the White House under the Kennedys as an ambassador, like that's amazing. And just thinking about the impact of even when the Emmett Till case happened and shooting those photos and exposing that to the world, like you have to understand when you get like a platform, it's very responsible to do the right thing. So it's easy to do like clickbait and the wrong things. That's simple. That's easy. It's fun. It's engaging. Easy. It's when you do the right things and you find that voice. That was impact. And then after him, it was a journalist, Ed Bradley, who was a Philadelphia native, and he was just amazing with being able to interview people and breaking down stories and finding out the intricate details of things that you want to know. Like those two people just completely inspired me even until today.
Oh, Rashod, I wish I had hours to really dig in with you. I think just seeing who you honor tells me a lot about the character of who you are. When you look at, we're always looking at how we pave the way for someone else. Is there a rising star right now that you have your eyes on, that you see doing some great things that you would like to show homage to, that maybe we don't know yet, the world hasn't even caught wind of?
There's a couple. One of my best friends, I hate to do this, but I'm plugging him. One of my best friends, his name is Justin Williams. He's an interior designer. He just started a show on HGTV called Design Stars. He's phenomenal. Like I think it's one thing when you see someone from a distance and it's like, oh my God, you're great. And then when you see someone up close and it's like you're able to actually watch them in the process, I have no idea how he does what he does. But he can go into a room that looks like crap and see a completely different room and create it in his head and make it happen like almost instantly. Meanwhile, I'm like, so you gotta put chairs in here. How does this work? Like, how do you know that paint color? It's just I don't get it. And I think that's the part that amazes me the most, because I love seeing people become creative in their moment, and that's dope. And then people like my brother's an amazing photographer. He can see a finished photo in his head. iPhone, just take a picture, call it a day. Like I don't have that ability. So It's like those kind of people are amazing. I'm fascinated with Angela Rye. I think she is going to be a star in the world. She's just, her opinion and just her voice and her reluctance to back down from her opinion. I love it. She has no problem stepping to a platform and saying, no, this is what it is. And we need more of that. So those are people that I admire at this point.
I love it. That's what it's about. Paving the way for someone else, shining a light on someone else. Rashod, what makes a legend? When you think of legendary and people becoming legends, what makes a legend?
I think it's the reluctance of backing down. It's knowing who and what you bring to the table, and then sharing that with the world freely and openly, and saying, "This is me. Here's my torch. Take it from here." And I think we get stuck in the world of social media, the world of immediate response, and we start worrying about, followings and likings and all that other kind of stuff. And it's like, but what are you passing on to that next generation? If you're not doing something that's going to help make the next generation's life easier or make their life better, then I don't really think you're going after what your true purpose of being here is. So it has to be something that you're passionate about, where they can take it and make their life better, and then make the life of the next generation after them better.
Ooh, that is good. Now we know that this is not easy. What you've already accomplished to this day is not easy. What's your why? What keeps you going?
It's these boys. Like there's so much about us as Black men that we're told who we are. And it's like being told who you are without understanding who we are. You either have the option of listening or changing that narrative. And when I find that I'm having conversations with men of all different backgrounds and all different platforms, and there's a consistent comment of there's more to us. And if we're not showing what that more is, that's a problem. So my job is to say, this is what the more is. This is what Black men are. This is how we react to things. This is what we do well. This is what we may not do too well. Like you have to be honest with even with your own criticisms, but do a criticism in a loving way. So it's like, we don't do this greatly, but this is how we can help it. This is how we can fix it. This is how we can start working towards it. So if you say, Black men don't communicate, we do. It's just a matter of who we communicate with. So it's open that door and say, okay, so if you think we don't talk about this, let's talk about it. Let's just make it happen.
And the Black men need you, and they needed this. So thank you, Rashod. I know we're just catching you in the beginning of building your legacy. What is a legacy that you hope to leave behind?
I want to create. I'm even gonna say I want to. I'm creating a media empire. And I want Black people to understand that, like, your voice is your voice. Don't dim your light. Don't diminish yourself. Don't pull yourself back to make people comfortable. Let who you are be who you are. And the people that are going to love it are going to love it. The people that are not, they're not, regardless. So why pull yourself back for someone who's not going to like what you do regardless? So it's important to just have that. And this empire, again, it's going to go across platforms, and I want everyone to have their space in that to be able to create what makes them happy and what makes you feel that love that you can give out to somebody else.
Oh my God. You're on your way, brother. You're on your way. I want you to fill in this sentence for me. I can
do anything.
I will
do everything.
I must
hold nothing back.
Give it up for Rashod Davenport of Suavv magazine. Salute, Rashod. Salute, salute. You're out in Atlanta. You're doing your thing. I salute you. We welcome you into our network, and we say thank you for being the image for Black men and showing Black men a reflection of just how beautiful and brilliant they are. You guys, you've been tuned into Black Roses. I want to hit you with one last category, which is our wild card. These are people that we chose to simply give their Black Roses just because we simply chose to. So let's hit them with the wild card. Charity Croft, old chap Charity. Whoop, who's that from? That's from UCC. All right, let's see who else we have for the wild card. Antonio Moore. Okay.
That was
that from? Jice Johnson. Who else do we have for the wild card? Reverend James Peters. Yes. I know who gave us that one. Senator Coleman, I see you, brother. Who else do we have for the wild card? Intozaki Shange. All right, I see you. Shay J with them good picks. That's me. Let's see the last wild card. It's coming through. It's coming through. As it's coming through, let's just talk about the importance of these wild cards. I will just say this. For me, Intozaki Shange was a pillar in when I loved Maya Angelou. I loved all these things. But when I started reading for colored girls who considered suicide when the rainbow wasn't enough, it was something that I finally connected with. This is how I got into college. That was a monologue I used to get into college. It was a language I understood. It was something that made me feel Black and proud. And the way the thing is, the way she wrote was not ordinary. And so she made me see that creativity was allowed to be innovative and we could do anything we dreamed of. So shout out to Intozaki Shange for being a pillar and what really made me who I am and made me love this industry. I would love to hear why you picked who you did, Chris.
So prior to that, I just want to say we also had a rising star, and Naomi Osaka was my rising star, and I love what she's doing for the game. I think she's picking up right back where Serena is, towards the end of her career, but I just wanted to point that out. The reason why I picked Old Chap, we're in the social media world, you know what I mean? And I think the next generation, that's what they go to find out information, to see what the new trending thing is. And what Charity Croft is doing is providing a different aspect where, hey, you believe this, let me give you the information behind it. Hey, you believe in Black history, let me give you the information behind it. And for someone to do it as creative as he's done it, for someone to be as outspoken as he's been, and to some people, he's just different. And I love that about him. I love what he's doing, but I love that he's sharing his space and his vulnerability with everyone else. So, shout out to Charity Croft, Old Chap on Instagram. If you don't follow him, I suggest you do, because he just has a bunch of information that I didn't even know. And I think he's teaching people throughout the world. So super cool.
Thank you. Tia Jones, let's see who she went ahead and chose. Go ahead and throw that up for me.
I
love it. Why did you choose this bright star?
Well, she is definitely, a rising star for sure. But for my wild card, I actually went with all Black women. And the reason why I picked all Black women is because I think over the last decade, we've really transformed, right? We are the fastest growing entrepreneurs. We have a Black vice president that's, a woman. We have 25 congresswomen that are Black women, and we have more CEOs that are head of companies like Amanda mentioned, I think it was, Starbucks. So I think overall, my wild card is just Black women as a whole, because I think we're great and we're doing amazing things in our community.
Killing it.
We're killing it. I see y'all sisters.
You just got to shout us out. Period.
Who you chose and why? Because that was great, Tia. I don't know if you should came after that. Sorry. Jice.
Oh, my bad. Yes. I chose Antonio Moore. I think right now, in this next phase, we're in the middle of making history, and I love it. And, I wouldn't call this like the next civil rights movement. I call this the economic rights movement. Like, that's the space that we're in. And, 50 years from now, I think we'll be talking about the economic advances that we've made. And he is a champion for reparations for the Black community. He has made his voice loud and heard. And even when they are not mentioning ADOS, they are talking about ADOS. And so I just definitely think that, when this movement comes and goes, the work that he's done will be remembered.
The work that he does will be remembered. And I hope you guys see and feel the love from these Black roses that we've decided to give you today. I'm honored to sit here with this amazing panel. I want to thank you from the panel, Tia Jones, the entrepreneur extraordinary. Make sure you check her out if you're ready to get your next commercial real estate property. I'm telling you, this woman knows her facts and will make sure you are headed in the right direction. Mr. Representative Senator James Coleman, thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for continuing to support us right here from the grassroots to the top. You're always somebody we can count on. So we thank you. the newest member to BBI and CTN. My partner, thank you for making sure that this happened. Black Roses, I want to give you your roses for dealing with two women every day, like myself and Jice. Nice to meet you, brother. And my partner,
It's so easy. It's so easy.
One and only CBO of the Black Business Initiative, Jice Johnson. Thank you for staying authentic. Thank you for representing our culture at any and all times, not just in February, but 365 days. Remember, y'all, we have the CEO Roundtable because we want you to take a seat at the table with us. Make sure that we're not just honoring legends, but we're building legends right here in our very own community. Let's take your seat at the table. Sign up, gain access. Go to bbiprofessional.com. We want to build and grow with you. Until next time, family, keep on loving on each other. Keep being great. And remember to give people their roses while they're here. We never know when we'll have to say goodbye. We love each and every one of you. Again, make sure you subscribe to CTN Media. Right here, we are making sure that we stay for the culture. So go ahead and check us out at CTN Media, changing the narrative. Remember to subscribe, share, ring the bell, and keep being Black excellence. Until next time, I'm your host, Shay J, the interview guru. This has been an episode of Black Roses. Peace and love.